Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm still not comfortable saying that. I'm really not. I'm sorry. I can't do it. It makes me cringe. So today's video is going to be a little bit different from the usual ones. As you can see, I'm at home. I'm in my dressing gown. I've got my under eye patches on. I have just had not an everything shower, but exfoliated, washed my hair, you get the gist. I'm not gonna lie, I'm having one of those days where I literally just want to get into my pyjamas, get on this corner in the sofa, put on my TV shows with my Kindle and just not move all day. Like, I'm in one of those moods where I just want to rot in bed all day. And I know that yeah, every so often it's good to do that, don't get me wrong, but like, with me personally, if I was to just go, you know what, sack everything off today, I'm rotting on the sofa all day, come like 6 o'clock tonight, I will feel terrible for it. And I know I'll feel terrible for it, hence why I'm filming this video. We're going to get up, I'm going to get ready, and I'm going to sort my fucking shit out, because this isn't it. This is not it right now. But yeah, so what today's video is going to be about is whilst I get ready for the day, I am going to take you guys with me and we are going to run through some fitness tips that I wish I knew when I first started out. There is a little video like this on my TikTok, but I thought let's create a YouTube video out of it. Oh my lord, who is that? Get away. Anyway, can you tell I'm really not sociable today? I'm like, no. Anyway, let's restart. So I'm gonna take you guys with me whilst I get ready, and we're gonna discuss fitness tips that I wish I knew when I first started out. I'm gonna make a bit of a longer YouTube video on this one, just because I think like I want to dive a little bit deeper into them. There's a video on my TikTok where it's a bit like, like tip number 1, blah blah. But when I'm going tip number 1, blah blah, I want to dive a little bit deeper in. So yeah, let's get ready and let's run through some fitness tips. Right, and whilst I do my skincare, I'm going to tell you about tip number 1. So, tip number 1 would be to follow a structured program. Following a structured program gives you that structure from day to day, week to week that you need to see growth. If you are like showing up to the gym and you are just getting your phone out and chat GPTing or Googling a quick 45-minute workout, and each day you're going to the gym from one week to the next, if that is switching up and changing and you're just doing different workouts all the time, you're not going to progress. You're not going to see the difference that you want to see, because when you're switching them up constantly, you're not able to actually apply progressive overload to the exercises you're doing. And don't get me wrong, I feel like when you are first starting out in fitness, going to the gym can be daunting. Like, all those fitness girlies, we're not going to sit and say to you, oh, it's not daunting at all. It is daunting, right? So maybe doing that for like the first 2 or 3 weeks whilst you are finding like your feet in the gym, whilst you're becoming a bit more comfortable, that's okay. But when you're comfy in the gym and you're comfortable to go and do a workout, if you have a set goal in mind that you want to achieve, then you need to be following a structured program to achieve that. Me personally, I would say go with a coach, just because if you are a newbie to the gym, if you are a beginner, you don't have the knowledge of what you need to do to achieve what it is you want to achieve, going with a coach then provides you all that knowledge. Like, your coach will set you your workouts, your coach will set you your nutrition, they will tell you what to do each day. All you have to do is show up. However, I know that isn't always feasible, and I know not everyone can afford to go with a coach. So what I would do is do a little self-research around fitness, types of exercise you will enjoy, do a bit of research around it and a little bit of self-knowledge, and build up your own knowledge without going through with a coach, if you get what I mean. But yeah, I feel like as well, following a structured program, it just gives you that guidance that you need in the gym. Like, it genuinely does just provide you that stability and guidance that you do need on the gym floor. Tip number 2 would be that you need to remember that you're not always going to have motivation. It makes me laugh when I see other people, like other fitness influencers on social media, saying that they always have motivation to go to the gym and everything like that, because that's genuinely just not realistic. Like, I will hand on my heart tell you that your motivation plateaus. Some days, 1 week, right? 1 week, every single day that week, you could have the best motivation ever. You could be smashing in every session and feeling motivated to go and do it. Come the next week, you could be like, that's the last thing I want to do. And like, that's genuinely just how it is with fitness. Like, some days you do have motivation and some days you don't. But this is where discipline comes in. I find for me, on days where I am not feeling very motivated and not wanting to go to the gym, I just have to remind myself, like, why I started, what the goal is in mind that I want to achieve, and that only I can show up for me. Like, you are the only person that can get yourself to achieve those goals, and I feel like that's so big to remember when your motivation depletes, because your motivation does deplete. Like, if you are relying on motivation to get up and go to the gym 5 times a week consistently, you're already setting yourself up for fail. Like, I always say, if I wake up and already in my head I'm like, don't want to go to the gym today, going to the gym will be the first thing I do, because it's the last thing I want to do, so it's the first thing I'm going to do. When you show up for yourself, you're building that self-trust. Like, you're proving to yourself that, like, right, I don't want to do this, but I'm still going to show up for myself and I'm still going to do it regardless. Like, you're not only building the resilience and dedication to achieve your goal, you're also building self-trust within yourself. And this is why I always say to people, fitness isn't just about lifting weights, and it's never just about a physique look. Fitness genuinely is everything. Like, it's your lifestyle, it's your mental health, it's your physical health, it's your emotional health. Like, it genuinely is everything. Right, we're going on to our makeup now, and I just wanted to interrupt the fitness tips and tell you about two products I've been using for my daily makeup, and oh my god, they are lifesavers. So we've got the NYX, the Face Glue Primer. My makeup stays on literally all day, and then I match it with the NYX Buttermilk Glaze. This colour shade, I've got it in Almond Butter, but because your girl is looking a bit pale because I've came back off holiday and the UK is gloomy, it is a little bit dark for my skin colour, but I'm still going to use it regardless. Anyway, right. My tip number 3 would be to prioritise whole foods over processed. And I think whether you are focusing on fitness or whether you are in a calorie deficit or a surplus anyway, I feel like you should always focus on whole foods, just because they're so much better for your overall health. And like, yeah, they're just better for your overall health and your overall performance and everything like that. Like, but yeah, So your processed foods will probably be looking like your frozen kind of meals, so like your ready-made meals, frozen, like already pre-made meals, that kind of stuff, and like frozen chicken nuggets, frozen fish fingers. They're just a couple of examples of what processed food is. In processed food, there is a lot of additives that you probably aren't really aware of, and neither was I, to be fair. Like when I first started my fitness, if it fit my macros, that's it, I was eating it. But one thing you should always remember is it might fit your macros, but it doesn't fit your goal. I genuinely found that when I was in my calorie deficit and prioritising whole foods over processed, I saw better and if not quicker results, and I genuinely believe it's because I was so focused on putting clean whole foods into my body. The Gaelies have just said about doing a shopping trip. If anyone knows me, my guilty pleasure is shopping. Right, tip number 4, is that what we're on? I think so. Tip number 4. A lot of people usually forget about this, including myself even to this day, and I've been training for like 4 years. The stretching and recovery and resting is just as important as training. And you'll hear all like fitness people raving on about it, saying how important it is to stretch and rest and everything like that. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it is rare that I stretch, and I know that's bad, and I know it is, and coming from a personal trainer myself, like, I know it's bad, right, and I know I need to stretch, so that is something that in 2025 I am trying to implement, and I am trying to stretch more. But yeah, so let's just go rest and recovery. Rest and recovery is so important. It's like training, like even down to like just your sleep. Like you need to be getting at least 7+ hours per night of like pure sleep, not just like 7 hours laid in bed and sleep, like 7 hours sleep, because your body just genuinely needs that rest. Like for your body to grow and your muscles to repair themselves and stuff, your body needs that rest. Like your muscles can't repair themselves whilst like being up and about all the time, constantly. Like sometimes you do need that rest, and everyone has different forms of rest. So my rest, personally, I do still like to keep a little bit active because I don't often like being stagnant and not doing anything. So on my rest days, I will do what is called an active rest day. So I will still be going on my walks, I will still be getting like my 11k steps in every day. Like I will still be doing those things. I just won't go and do my actual like weight training. But yeah, so it's like try to prioritise your sleep and get in as much sleep as you can. The more the better. I always say the more sleep the merrier. But yeah, and just take it easy, and like some days you will wake up and think, I can't train today, I'm gonna have to take more rest, and that's okay. Like listen to your body. Like your body will literally tell you when it needs rest, and if you don't give it rest, it will come to a point where it will literally force you to. Like I was like that. Like my body would literally be screaming at me. It would be like, Kira, give me some rest, and I'd be like, no, like we're going to the gym. And then like 3 weeks later I'd be burnt out and have a cold or something, and I'd have to be, and it'd force me to stop. And it's your body's way of forcing you to like slow down. So like you just need to listen to your body and slow down when it needs it and give it the rest that it needs. Taking us on to tip number 5. This kind of goes back to tip number 3 about like nutrition and whole foods and stuff. But rather than just being focused on whole foods, it's just about nutrition in general. I would say before you step foot in a gym and before you apply, before you apply training and fitness and exercise, I would say to focus on your nutrition. Because Some people are opposite, but me personally, I find my nutrition, I find my nutrition side harder to keep track with than my training. Like, I will show up for every single training session, but nutrition for me at times can be the hardest part. Like, staying on track, staying within your macros, staying within your calories every day, that is sometimes my hardest part. And I always, like, you will be shocked at the amount of change you will see in your body just from focusing on your nutrition with no training, no exercise whatsoever. Like, as soon as you focus on your nutrition, your body will literally change like that. Like, your body will go change. And then obviously then it comes to a time where you do need to apply exercise. But yeah, like, really focus on your nutrition. Get to grips with what you need to be doing. Get to grips with your calories and macros and stuff for the goal it is you want to achieve. And I would say make sure that is solid and you were in it, and then go on to exercising. Moving on to tip number 6, I would say that you need to find a movement you enjoy. I think nowadays, at the current moment, we've got all this trend of like hot yoga, Pilates, weightlifting, and I think sometimes when they're the trending things that people are doing, I think it kind of forces people into forcing themselves to enjoy it. Because in order to stay in your fitness journey and actually stick to what you're doing, you need to enjoy it. And as soon as you stop enjoying it, you need to switch it up, you need to find your feet with it again and start enjoying it again. Because this one took me a long time to like actually implement into my own fitness journey, is that if you're not enjoying it, you're going to view it as a chore. And as soon as your brain views exercise, nutrition, whatever it is, as a chore, you're going to start slacking with it and you're going to drop out. And it's going to be easier for you to drop out because you've got that excuse in your head where it's like, well, I don't enjoy it. And I'm not going to force myself to do something I don't enjoy. Which is fine. Like, don't do something you don't enjoy. But that's why it's so important to find movement that you do enjoy, whether it's swimming, walking, running, anything, like sprinting, like yoga, Pilates, weightlifting, CrossFit, high rocks. It literally, the forms of fitness are to no end. Like, there is no end of forms of fitness. There's so many. So moving on then to tip number 7. I'm a big believer in this one, and so is everybody in the fitness industry. You need to focus on your form first. It is form over weight over here, If you are lifting, you could be lifting really heavy, right? Like, the weight you lift could be really heavy and really impressive. However, if your form is wrong and your form is incorrect, you are not going to get the results from that exercise that you would if your form was correct. And if you are what people now call it ego lifting in your sessions, and you are not focusing on your form and you are just lifting the weight, you're also putting yourself at so much risk with pulling an injury. And pulling an injury on the gym floor or in exercise when you're not focusing on your form is so much easier. Like, it's so easy to do. Like, pulling an injury is so easy. Like, you can pull an injury with correct form, never mind with the wrong form. When you go into the gym and you can't lift heavy or lift as much as the people around you, you start to feel a bit embarrassed, and that's okay, that's fine. But you also need to remember that they could be in there, like, they could be on, like, step 30 whilst you're on step 1. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't try to be someone's 5 years down the line when you're in your first day of training. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'll get what I'm trying to say. But, like, yeah, you really need to just prioritise your form and focus on your form of everything. Forget about the weight that you're picking up. Forget about the weight that you're lifting. Correct your form and make sure your form is solid. and then apply progressive overload, and then increase your weights. Okay, so moving on again then. Now we're going on to tip number 8. That's it. So, for tip number 8, I would say to build consistency. You will hear this from everybody, but it's true. Building consistency is the key to the game. If you're in a calorie deficit and for 4 days out of the week you're sticking to your macros, you're sticking to your calories, you're sticking to your training, you're doing everything how you should be, and then those other 3 days of the week, so let's call it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're having takeaways, you're having all these sweet treats, you're going out for food, you're going out drinking because you've done really well on those 4 other days, you are actually jeopardising your results. You are. If you're in a surplus for a deficit for 4 days of the week and then putting yourself in a surplus for the other 3 days, you're just jeopardising your results. You're just equalising it out. Like, you're then consuming the calories that you haven't on the other days, and that does stunt your progress, and it does. I would always say, if you were in a calorie deficit, instead of having an off-plan day, have an off-plan meal. So you've got Monday to Sunday. Say you have your check-in. Right, I'm going to give you my example. Monday to Sunday, I have my check-in days with my coach on a Saturday morning. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will stick to my macros, stick to my calories, stick to my meal plan, stick to all my training, do everything I need to do my check-in on a Saturday, and then on a Saturday I will have my meal plan breakfast, meal plan snack, meal plan lunch, meal plan snack too, and then my dinner on an evening I will have an off-plan meal. So whether it be a takeaway or burgers or a barbecue or something, I will only have that off-plan meal. I won't have an off-plan day where I'm binging all day and eating loads of different things all day. Like, I will stick to my meal plan for 80% of the day, and then I'll stick to my meal plan for that 80% of the day, and then that other 20% will be my off-plan meal. And it's the same with training. If you are showing up to the gym, let's say you show up to the gym for 3 months, you smash it out, you do everything you need to do in the gym, training wise, you're great with it, you're brilliant, and then you start to drop off, your progress will also drop off. Right, so moving on to tip number 9, I would say to split your movement up. This is harder than what I thought, I'm not gonna lie. Right, top lip is done. Yeah, so split your movement up. I split my movement up into 3 separate sections. So you've got morning, midday and evening. In the morning, I will get some steps in. Midday, I will train. Evening, more steps. Splitting it up into sections in the day, whether it's up to you how you split it up, obviously based on what your day is like. But splitting it up into 3 separate sections makes it so much more easier to achieve and to actually do. So moving on to tip number 10. Tip number 10 would be that 4 or 5 days training each week is more than enough. So many people are pressured in to training like 6 days a week, but sometimes 4 or 5 with the basic movements is genuinely more than enough, and it's more than what you need. Because you've got to think, like, you don't want to overtrain either, because overtraining also stunts your progress. So yeah, you're going to want to try stick to about 4 or 5 days a week training, using the basic movements and just applying progressive overload, and that is going to be more than enough for your body. Anyway, I am now ready for the day. I did just come off camera to do my hair. I've just waved it. But yeah, that was my little guidance and tips for all you gym beginners whilst I got ready. I'm not gonna lie, when I first started the video, I wasn't in the best moods. Like, as you could tell, I was literally just wanting to rot on the sofa all day. Bit of effort into myself. I feel 10/10. I feel so much better. But yeah, I am off out for lunch, so I am gonna get going. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. It's only a little short video, but you know what I mean. You're all gonna take little tips from it, aren't you? And you're gonna enjoy like having a bit more of an insight to knowledge for fitness. But yeah, I will see you guys next week.